Well, so we're back. Mama V, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Roland Walker.
Yeah.
Is it a working week or not?
I don't know. Looks like holiday when I was coming through. I felt like maybe I'm overdressed for, should I want maybe a Friday wear or something of the sort, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, you enter the studios and you know that looks like it's business. So,
it's true. Well, good morning to all of you staying at home, and we hope that you're not just staying at home, but you're also taking the necessary precautions even as you're home. I realize that, Roland, I don't know about your kids, but I had a bit of a tough time trying to explain that mommy has to go to work.
I didn't.
Okay.
I think my kids slept late. I'm very sure they slept late. Yes. But by this time they're sleeping. But the thing is, it's also about trying to orient families, and it's part of the package for today. Because once it's a lockdown, you also have the responsibility as a parent to then reorient your family, whether it's your wife or your husband or your children, especially when many of them are just young. They know, or they think they know a lot about everything, and you have to explain to them that we have a lockdown and these are the things that you can and can't do.
Exactly. Well, let's jump straight into the newspapers. As you can see, we're social distancing, so remember to do same wherever you find yourself. I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. We're going to put the paper on the screen shortly. We will review what's on the front page and what's on the back page. So here we go with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Banner headline: halting spread of COVID-19, stay at home measures begin. The stay-at-home measures begin, and it comes with a picture of the IGP James Opong Buenu, the Inspector General of Police. Also, President, others donate into COVID-19 fund. Still on COVID, it's actually what everybody's writing about these days. Churches bear brands of offering holidays. All right, so thought we're going to put the paper on your screen for you to see what's on the front page. But this is how the Daily Graphic looks today on the front page of the paper. Let's do the back page. Markets in Kaswa and Sawam also disinfected. This exercise happened in Accra, it happened in Kumasi, and then over the weekend, well, we saw Kaswa and in Sawam also going through the same exercise of the disinfection exercise. That's the story on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. From the Daily Graphic, we do the Ghanaian Times, front page of the Times. Stay at home. President orders as 14-day partial lockdown starts today. 10 Guineans test positive for COVID-19 to be repatriated. Ghana Health Service to conduct mandatory testing for all persons in lockdown areas. Government establishes COVID-19 National Public Trust Fund. Or COVID-related on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
The 10 Guineans recorded to be positive. Yeah, it's a very frightening one.
Yeah. On the back page, mad rush for foodstuffs, other essentials ahead of lockdown. This mainly happened on Saturday. And then Sunday, there was some crazy traffic as well in some part. People saying, well, they had to drive all the way to Nsawam, for instance, to get foodstuffs. Others going almost into the central region to grab some foodstuff. But we hope that wherever you are ready for this 2 weeks, except that there will be essential services. You can get out there and go and buy food. You can go to the markets. You can go to the banks, for instance. But there's a conversation that we'll be having, because as I was driving to work this morning, I didn't see a lot of vehicles, certainly not commercial vehicles. So how would people carry themselves into the marketplaces? People who do business in the market, who will be selling the foodstuffs. We'll be looking at all those as well. We're told your local wache seller, cocoa seller should also be working even as we all go on lockdown. We will check to see if that's the situation. The Daily Statesman, front page of the Daily Statesman, 10,000 health workers get 10 million Ghana cedis insurance package. We won't intimidate anyone. Police assures and urges public to cooperate for COVID-19 lockdown success. President sets up COVID-19 trust fund. And this is how it looks like. The Daily Statesman newspaper today. They've got some boxing stories on the back page, though, and some football related. Not a lot happening in sport, obviously, because of the global pandemic, COVID-19. All right, the last newspaper that I have before Roland joins is the Publisher. This is the New Publisher. So front page of the New Publisher. Panic buyers storm Accra Kumasi market as lockdown begins today. Millennium City Schools cash missing. And AMA open letter to South Korea's ambassador to Ghana. And that's how it looks like by way of what's on the front page of the New Publisher newspaper. All right, Roland.
Well, so we have to go to the Economy Times, and the Economy Times has on the front page, and Mama, this one will look, we need $1 billion US. That's almost 5.4 billion Ghana cedis needed to put Ghana economy in shape, and that's from a former CEO of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, Alex Mould, there on front page of the Economy Times. You have it. Okay. Also, that Ghana to go back to IMF sooner than we thought. We thought, and this one is a story filed by Adnan Adams Mohammed of the Economy Times. Speaks volumes about, but it's also because the Bretton Woods institution has made available a fund for which we can have a drawing or a drawdown from it by various countries, including Ghana. Down there, we also do have West African countries to benefit from $379 million US World Bank support. So that's how it is. And we have Deborah Witzel, the World Bank Director of Regional Integration for Africa, whose picture has been inserted. On the back page, we have the experts speaking on possibilities and measures to put in place when it comes to the lockdown. Remember, the lockdown started by midnight today. It's in force. And as we told you earlier on, based on what also Gifty and Wapia, the head of our security desk, brought us, we'll tell you what's happening in the day. That was a dawn report, so to speak. Now, let's go to the next paper. We're talking the Business and Financial Times. It has on the front page the Coronomics continuing, and among the archives for today, we have the Kufuor pushes 1 billion Ghana cedi lifeline into economy, orders banks to reduce lending rate by some 2%. The problem with all these directives is that before these directives, the Bank of Ghana had been reducing the lending rates. They hadn't been reflecting in the actuals when it comes to what the real issues confronting customers when they went to the banks. So this is said publicly, but in real terms, the banks just did not. And I don't know how in this time when the risk is even higher for the banks, how actually they will be able to implement this. We also do have for mobile money users a lot of updates for those analysts. This is what it says: Sub-Saharan Africa tops with a value of 456 billion US dollars in value. And I tell you, this story is talking about a new report on the global mobile money industry, showing that our sub-region, or the Sub-Saharan African sub-region, we're talking blacks in Africa. So black, Sub-Saharan Africa, that's what it means. So from West Africa or the Maghreb downwards to Southern Africa, this is the value, capitalization of the industry when it comes to mobile money. And it's the largest market for the payment platform in the world, taking over 66% share of the industry. Where we also do have mobile money transactions a lot in Asia, especially the Southeast Asian regions. And you can find that we have many of it as well when it comes to related usage of mobile money. It's something that we always do. And in these times where we have lockdown, electronic means of payment is what people have resorted to. And I believe when we come to the coverage, you would also get to know possibly what the real issues are when it comes to the lockdown and how, whether people are obeying or not, and what their reasons will be if they are obeying and they are not. The Ghanaian publisher has us on the front page. Police demanding cooperation as Accra, Kumasi and Kaswa lockdown begins. No shortage of petroleum products, MPA is assuring, despite, you know, the long queues you would find at various gas filling stations. And then look, the assurances had been given. Mama, this is quite interesting, wouldn't you say? Knowing that the assurances had been given by the Minister for Information, the team that really did the address had continuously been giving us all the update that we shouldn't be rushing to get to have food or buy food and stock up when it comes to gas, etc.
Yeah, the gas thing, right? I mean, I drove around quite a bit on Saturday and I saw long queues in different parts of Accra, really. And I was thinking, okay, so did they buy extra cylinders to do this because of the 2 weeks lockdown? Or they've had empty cylinders sitting at home and they haven't bothered to fill up? Is because of what is going to happen, that's why they're doing it. I mean, I really didn't understand. I think it was the queues were too long.
Yeah. What I did see, especially, I had the news going through to my home in Ajokojo, the main Ashaman stretch for a very long time. What I did notice was that the last time I used it, that would be on Friday evening, I saw many people by the stands where they sell the used cylinders from abroad. And so it gave me the indication when I saw the queues that, look, it looks like they were stocking up even extra cylinders just to be sure the right things were done for them.
Yeah, I just wish that people won't buy second-hand cylinders.
Or they buy them.
Never a good idea, particularly around this time. If you have extras and you haven't bought the right thing, it could be a problem. We pray against that, though. Yeah. We're going to go to myjoyonline.com and definitely also do the BBC. So if we're ready, Roland, are you done with the papers?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, all right. So let's jump into myjoyonline.com and let's give you a wrap of what's happening in Africa, in particular on the BBC. So here we go, myjoyonline.com, Roland.
Well, so we have myjoyonline.com and coronavirus lockdown in Accra and Kumasi coming into force. It's only Accra and Accra. There's an extension of Central Region. So we have Kaswa also included in the nearby communities as well. And we have other stories there, Mwavi. Can we go up so that we'll get to know the real time? No, up. Let's go up. Yeah. Is that the only story we have there?
No, there are plenty more stories. We have to rather go down, Roland. Hotels, restaurants can stay open. Pubs and drinking bars should close in lockdown areas. Also, private businesses launch Ghana Private Sector COVID-19 Fund. UK government to evacuate willing nationals. And this was yesterday, wasn't it? Back into the UK. Don't withhold relevant information from health workers. An appeal. Information Minister to patient. 11 more COVID-19 cases confirmed. 10 in Tamale. Bahama support coronavirus fight with 100 set of PPEs and other items. Accra's traffic lockdown before the lockdown in pictures. So you might want to go on myjoyonline.com and explore and see what happened. Just before we run off and bring you sport, let's do the BBC. Let's tell you about what's happening in Zimbabwe, in Kenya, in Nigeria as well on the BBC. A wrap of what's happening. So Libya releases prisoners to contain virus spread. If you go down, it says Libya has become the latest country in the Middle East to release detainees in response to coronavirus. The internationally recognized government in Tripoli has ordered more than 400 prisoners to be freed. Saudi Arabia has ordered around 250 people imprisoned on relatively minor charges to be released. Bahrain, Egypt and Syria have all made similar moves. Iran too has released detainees, although there are also reports of at least 2 prison breakouts. But there have been few political prisoners or prisoners of conscience among those freed. Human rights organizations, relatives and local activists are also calling for their release. And then there's the situation in Kenya. Police in Western Kenya clashed with residents who defied a curfew order on Sunday nights.
So that's Eldoret. And you know that picture there? Somebody sent it to me this dawn and said that was a Shaiman. I said, Well, I was trying to. I was wondering, you know the route. I was wondering which part of Ashaiman was that rough, and they had a street light.
Fake news. So beware of fake news,
Yeah.
because others would use what's happening elsewhere to represent what's happening in our country.
Felicia Radwadan so sent it to me early this day. I wanted to find. I said, look, verify this. I don't think this is Ashaiman. Are you sure that Ghana police were lashing people? And this is not. This is the slum of Eldoret in Kenya.
Okay.
And not Ashaiman.
So there's a video shared online showing the residents pelting police with stones. Kenya imposed a dusk-to-dawn curfew last week as a measure to reduce the spread of coronavirus. It has confirmed 42 cases of COVID-19. And then if you go down, you see the Zimbabwean story. Zimbabwe went into full coronavirus lockdown for 3 weeks on Monday, coming 10 days after confirming its first case. Police on Sunday also mounted roadblocks, and the government said the military will step in if necessary to enforce the stay-at-home order. But what is most worrying is the fact that hundreds of healthcare professionals are already refusing to work because they say they don't have the protective equipment. So that's the situation with Zimbabwe. Nigeria also announcing some lockdown in main cities. We'll explore that when we come back from sports. Roland Walker in sports. Some people say we should just give the title to Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, because before this whole lockdown coronavirus pandemic spread, there were 25 points apart, the second team, and apparently until now they're about a country or two still playing football, and that's Belarus. In Europe.
Yes.
I didn't know that, because the betting companies have not been working in my area.
Well, they're working elsewhere, apparently.
In Ashaiman, so I was wondering,
So it's not all gone quiet. We'll have a lot of details in sport. You're watching the AM show. Stay with us. When we come back, we know a lot of you are home, so we will be sharing a few tips with you, even as you stay at home, and of course, keep you updated.